It's time to talk stocks. Stocks up, stocks down. Dynasty. Let's do it. Producer, you know what to do. Welcome once again to another edition of the Dynasty Pulse right here on the Fantasy Sports Advice Network and the Undroppables, terrestrial radio 101.5, talking West Tennessee. Like a big bowl from the chunky man tree, we are here to bring you the best fantasy football analysis on a podcast on YouTube with hosts scattered, 5 hosts all scattered around the country and Canada, also half sponsored by an Alaskan pickle company. There's stiff competition out there, but we're stiffer. How are you guys doing this week?
Oh, we're stiff and ready to rip. I can't wait for week 5, and we're here for the weekend warm-up, boys, and we're bricked up. Schultzy, are you bricked up tonight?
Oh, coming off a Cubs win, you know I'm bricked up.
There you go. And, Chev, you are pretty animated behind the scenes there. How are you doing tonight? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready for your probing question I got lined up for you?
First and foremost, I'm a Titans fan, so every Sunday is like a probing. So I just have to accept that I need to be ready to be probed at all times. So I stand ready for your probing, Michael.
I love it. I'm ready to do it. And
Michael.
you even Michael'd me. I'm even better. I can't. I love it. I love it. Coach, what's going on with you tonight, man?
Man, if I was any better, I'd be twins.
I hate you so much.
And bigz, because you're our host, no one ever gets to ask you how you're doing, bro. What's going on, man?
I'm here with my friends, and everything is good.
All right. Well, let's get into the
sports. Today I learned there's a National Hockey League team called the Mammoths. Didn't know that.
Yes. I think they're just this year. I think they're coming on,
and it might not be for long because they're being sued by a company who's the Mammoths. I don't know.
All right, Willie Mammoth.
Hey, the Jags got sued when they first started because the leaping Jaguar logo was too close to the car, and the car company sued them, and they made them change it.
I thought you were going to say because Jagoffs was already taken.
Oh.
All right, Coach. I got to admit, I completely underestimated James Cook this season, and now I'm eating some serious crow. Cook is an absolute tear the first 4 weeks, and he just has been on a tear the last year as well. So 3 straight 100-yard games, consistent touchdowns. He isn't just playing well. He's running at an RB1 overall pace, and if he keeps this up, it could be that. He's second in the NFL in rushing yards, only behind Jonathan Taylor. With his ability to find the end zone week after week, Cook is shaping up to be one of the best fantasy running backs in the league. If James Cook keeps this level of production up, the scoring streak, do you think he's locked in as a top-tier RB1 in Dynasty moving forward, or do you see any factors that might cause his value or workload to dip over long term? How are you ranking him in Dynasty tiers now?
Wait. So Mike didn't like my answer from the Fantasy Forecast show, so now he's trying to find the answer he's looking for from Coach. Okay, I get it.
He's trying to groove one. Well, here's the thing. Mike said it best. You have to, if it's going to continue, if James Cook continues on this pace, then it's a no doubt or no brainer. Top 10, you can even argue top 5. But we're looking at what's going on. Second in best ball points added for him at 59.2. First in total touchdowns, the regression has not hit yet. The one argument I would make is that you have so many more games left. 4 games down, 12 games to go. A lot can happen. But to this point, it's continuing, and there's no reason for it to not continue. Why can't he get another 100 yards this week and a touchdown against the New England Patriots? And then if he doesn't and he misses, well, then the next week he'll just go and get it. I think a lot of reticence was the fact that you couldn't just replicate those touchdown numbers, but maybe just tied to somebody like Josh Allen, who is not afraid to facilitate to James Cook, not afraid to pass the ball, unlike what they're doing in Philadelphia. You're getting multiple outs and runouts for what's going on tied to Josh Allen with James Cook. It's a different version of what's going on with Philadelphia with Barkley and Hurts. Of course, Barkley ate all last year. We're still trying to see Barkley catch up a little bit to what he did last year. But again, that's a tough pace to continue. But the way James Cook is running out, he's a league winner. If you got him in the 3rd round, the 4th round in your ADP, you're loving it. And I would absolutely say, why can't he be a top 5 player? It can continue. If you look at trades on Dynasty Daddy, I'm seeing in the last few days 26 and 27 round 1 picks getting sent for James Cook, and around 26 second. That's win now. That is, if I'm interpreting that with outside looking in, that's a league where people are just saying, I got to get the points. I don't care. I'm chasing the points and I'm getting. In the situation with James Cook, you're chasing and you're getting and you feel good, but you are having to buy high. So if you can accept that, you're buying high on James Cook, absolutely keep and continue. But you can ask anybody here, gentlemen, this one's going to be painful. Do you not agree? Anything can happen, so you have to understand assumed risk. Look at what's gone on with Chase Brown. Okay, a lot can still happen that's negative towards James Cook, but we really need to look at the bullish case more often than not. That's going to yield a lot more fantasy success when you have a case that's been proven. We've seen plays made by James Cook. We've seen it week in, week out. It's not like it's fiction. So we don't have something preseason to be, hey, we're bearish versus bullish. We're seeing it happen. There's evidence displayed. So James Cook is going to continue to cook. And I like him going forward. He's going to be top 5, top 10 Dynasty running back ranks. And when I say top 10, it's like closer to 5. You know, maybe you get him in that 6-7 area. Hey, 6-7. But yeah,
6-7.
It's there. But just understand you have assumed risk like any player. Look what happened to, your Cincinnati Bengals shares across the board in Dynasty. Are you a bad player because you kept and continued to chase Chase Brown? Not at all. It's just a bad run out. So just understand there could be a bad run out there for James Cook, but I don't think it's likely. So hopefully that answered. How did that square up with your deliberation between the two of you?
Basically the same.
Yeah. and we were talking dynasty here and not so much redraft, but also like I made a deal last week for James Cook in a dynasty where I'm a contender.
What'd you pay?
Well, I paid RJ Harvey, a Jameson Williams, and a 2026 second for James Cook that had a Christian McCaffrey on it, Saquon Barkley, Buka, JSN, Trey McBride, Jaden Daniels, Dak Prescott. It's a powerhouse team, and now I just solidified a spot that now I wasn't starting any of those guys, and now it just bumps my team to a real contender.
You can tell a story both ways on that deal that you just made. That hey, maybe the person sold James Cook high, and that RJ Harvey is going to become. But right now, what RJ Harvey we hope to become is what James Cook is doing right now. Sometimes you got to pay the piper and you got to pay up. So I like both sides. I can tell a story for both, but I really do like what you did there, Mike.
Thank you.
Sometimes you have to. I feel like sometimes you have to buy. Like you have to buy at the market value or slightly above, because what you're paying is still. You're not buying at the top. Like you're not buying at a premium. You're buying an ascending asset to where you could even flip James Cook for more a year or two from now. He's locked into the contract. He's in an elite offense. And if he gives you another 20 touchdown season and he's 25 years old going into 2026, like he's going to be one of the top 5 running back assets. He's already ahead. He's ascended above like Breece Hall. Like he's almost in that elite tier. He's probably right now reactionary theory, I would say that people would be willing to move off of Saquon Barkley pretty easily for James Cook. And that would have been lunacy in March, April, or May.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it feels really silly, myself included, that as a collective, we knocked down this guy in an offense that's going to score 40 points because he scored a lot of touchdowns.
It's crazy.
Hey, whatever, man.
That was me. I mean,
look,
myself included. It just feels so stupid.
Yeah.
I think the, players getting sharper. Sometimes we get too smart for our own britches, right? Like we say, hey, there's no way. Like 43% of his fantasy points came from touchdowns. He doesn't catch passes. Oh, he's not going to score 18 touchdowns again. Not thinking that, hey, what if this is just how they want to run their offense? What if him and Josh Allen are the most dependable pieces in the offense, and then it's just going to be kind of, you're playing Yahtzee for the rest of the guys on a week in, week out basis, because that's what it seems like. And they're winning games. They're punishing people in winning games.
Hey,
so
question.
Obviously he's locked in. But go ahead, Jeremiah.
So to a darker element of psychology, gentlemen, do we think that, to what Chev was talking about, hey, maybe this is how the offense wants to run, that all off season, James Cook knew what the deal was with the Bills? Josh Allen talked about how important James Cook was in the off season. That if you have that recollection of your value, RB market, whatever it is, that James Cook rightfully held out, and we should have paid attention to that to a degree because they acquiesced. The Bills ended up getting a deal with him. And then the fruition is now they're running things the way they want to, like they did last year.
Well, the instability in the market was based on his holdout. And I never wavered on my opinion of what he was going to be able to do production wise. I didn't see RB1 coming, obviously, but I don't know if I still do. One of the things that will always be with me is James Cook's rookie profile coming out and being a smaller back and seeing what happens to those kinds of guys. Now, he's been able to overcome that stature and go relatively unscathed, and he got the bag. So that's a lot more than many of us predicted going into the draft that he came out of. But there's never been a question of his talent level. It's just, were the Bills going to have him as productive this year as last year? Yeah, that's their scheme. That's what they do. And so, he's in a good position to really produce for you. So, all the way. RB1?
RB1 could be. All right. What was and what could never be now for a player that had really a catastrophic injury this past weekend. I'm talking about Malik Nabers and his ACL tear. He was quickly establishing himself as that elite wide receiver we talked about on this show just 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, his recent season-ending torn ACL throws a wrench into what was shaping up to be a great sophomore campaign. Nabers is now sidelined. The Giants will rely more on options like Cam Scatabo. But for Malik Nabers, he came into this season with significant dynasty buzz, and after a strong campaign, not looking good now. How are you adjusting Schultzy to his dynasty value now? And what situations would you consider moving on from him as an asset? Is he still worth holding on to as a high upside player long-term despite this injury? I mean, sometimes it takes some time for these guys to recover. So, next year isn't certain he comes off out of the gate. And, in Dynasty, it's what are you doing now for me? So what's your take on this situation?
This doesn't move my needle a ton for Malik Nabers. I'm going to be honest with you. You might knock him down a few slots, but not anything more than that. And with ACL tears in the year 2025, it's not career threatening like it used to be. People come back fine. They still produce. They go back to normal. It's the only detriment here is the time missed. And with him doing this in week 4, I mean, obviously it's tough to say, but like, I think he'll probably be good to go to start next season. Like the ones that like really are scary are when it happens in November or December, and like Brandon Ayuk last year. So overall, I'm not super concerned at all. Like still a 22-year-old who came out and dropped 1,200 yards on us as a rookie and saw 170 targets. This dude is for real. An ACL tear just is a bump in the road. If you look at the season so far, he was already 6th in targets with 35, and that comes with missing a chunk of this game this past week because he got hurt. So that's likely a top 5 number if you get that extra little time played in there. They're pushing the ball downfield to this guy. He's 9th in ADOT. It was 15.9 yards so far this year. He's 1st in air yards, 555, 1st in deep targets with 11, 1st in unrealized air yards. So the volume is monstrous for him, and the usage is deep, big plays. Like that is a match made in heaven. And then the thing here is he's done it with crap quarterback play. So if you're a Jackson Dart believer, don't move this dude. Like the one scenario I'm doing it, looking over at Dynasty Daddy, is I'm slotting him down for another receiver who I feel great about this year. Like I saw a couple straight ups for CeeDee Lamb. I saw one for Jackson Smith and Jigba in the 3rd. Like that's the type of move I'm willing to make if I think I've got a shot this year. If I feel very good about competing this year, I might move Nabers for a little bit of a tier down at receiver, but still a dude I feel great about long term. What we've seen out of this guy and what you can project moving forward is just the value is too good for me. Like I've seen a couple of 3 first-round picks, and I don't even know if I'm doing that. Like I feel that good about how he's going to come back and not be overall impacted by this. And if you like Jackson Dart, which I mean, hey, early signs are looking pretty solid, but hey, if you're a Jackson Dart guy, you got to be in on this. And yeah, it's going to take a lot for me to let go. And I think the only way I'm doing it is if his injury severely impacts my chance to win right now. And I think I'm going to do it this year.
Fine, I won't do it.
Yeah, I got a question then, because these guys were going kind of neck and neck headed into this season in Dynasty. Malik Nabers, Brian Thomas Jr., you're a contender. Are you trading Malik Nabers for Brian Thomas Jr. right now?
Straight up, no.
No. Okay.
What would be the scenario to trade away Malik Nabers for Brian Thomas Jr. process wise? Like, do you have to be a really crappy team?
No, you're a powerhouse, and you just lost Malik Nabers, and you need to replace a number 1 wide receiver that fits the bill for Schultzy. He's a tier down, but long term potentially has that upside, right?
Okay, so if you're a powerhouse, then likely Brian Thomas Jr. was one of the powering forces to that. Your team probably had an expected bump in points per game because Brian Thomas Jr. was like 17, and that took you over the top, right? So this year, Brian Thomas Jr. is underperforming, so you're probably closer to a cellar dweller, like not a cellar dweller, but maybe you've come back to the pack and you're 2-2 or 1-3 to get like out of the gates. And you're just like, hey, I just want to secure which it's dumb to do that right now because Brian Thomas Jr., Diddy Waldron could get fired and this Jags passing attack could fix itself. So I have a real problem, I guess, with the notion of everybody quitting on Brian Thomas Jr. in Dynasty. Like, I don't understand why you would do that or why there would be this vast chasm of value between BTJ and Malik Nabers. There shouldn't be in any circumstance that much of a difference in value between BTJ and Malik Nabers.
Yeah, I tried, sending out a first-round pick next year to Schultzy, and he just wouldn't bite for BTJ. So I guess it is.
Schultzy's not dumb, and his team is really good, and he's a Jags fan. There's zero chance of first.
I think if I'm moving Nabers for BTJ, I want some add-on to that slice. But like I said, to me, this is more of a Nabers thing. Like I'm just that confident in this dude coming back and being in an offense where he's going to see 150 plus targets year in and year out, and the way he gets used, like, to me, this is more of a Nabers thing than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I don't know. I look at BTJ and I'm like, yeah, this is this generation's Andre Johnson. Like, that's what I see. And with Malik Nabers, I'm like, oh, cool. This is like what it would be like if Odell Beckham didn't, have a bunch of catastrophic injuries. So I view them in very, very similar lights. Both of those talents that I referenced before were on Hall of Fame trajectories. Andre Johnson is in the Hall of Fame, but I don't know that's I can't work through that process unless my team is absolute dog water, and I would just be buying the ceiling. Like, I feel like their ceilings are going to be very similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. All right.
I think
I'm
if you
max
feel that
PF
way,
in this league. I'm max PF. I'm number 1 in max PF in this league,
You're
and I'm
number
1 and
one.
3, and I have the most points allowed. Thanks for the schedule,
Yep.
Grindberg.
Man, no, you don't have a league median, I think, in that league.
Yeah.
Which league? Wait, are y'all talking about the Grindberg Invitational?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my team blows in there.
Well, we're all dealing with things in other ways. Schultzy just ended up getting lucky on a couple picks, I think. I'm just joking. No, he
Yeah, no.
it's
yeah.
the injury
Oh,
luck
the
for
picks
me.
that I was gonna make, like, yeah, F you, Grindberg. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Me having
All
to
right.
watch my team on Schultzy's team. F you, Grindberg.
Burn the schedule maker.
I've lost nobody to injury.
All right. Well, let's move on to an injury that
cool.
obviously affects some of us, and it affects me in the Grindberg Invitational. And the Miami Dolphins are going to be without Tyreek Hill probably for good now. Probably played his last game as a Dolphin and potentially in the NFL. Now the impact is directly affecting a guy that some of us have been up or down on, and the verdict is still not out there on Jaylen Waddle and his dynasty outlook. Now, bigz, do you see him as a locked-in top 12 wide receiver long-term now, or is the uncertainty at quarterback and the offensive direction in Miami enough to cap his ceiling? Where are you ranking Waddle and dynasty tiers now, or just in your rankings now? Top 12, top 24, top 36. Does this move the needle at all for you?
I don't think it does. I think it definitely hurts the Miami Dolphins attack, but that they're going to go as far as Devon Achane takes them. We saw Darren Waller sneak some touches from Jaylen Waddle. I think Jaylen Waddle is what he always has been and always will be. Now, there is a chance that he does see an uptick in usage rate, basically because they're down their number 1 wide receiver and he could step into that role. But I really don't see it as a huge boost for him. When we kind of go down and look at where he's sitting in the pantheon of wide receivers, he's wide receiver 28 now. He looks like he was earning targets, basically 6 targets per game, which isn't terrible. He's basically been touchdown dependent. He might get a little boost, let's say in the top 24, but he's definitely not a top 12 wide receiver.
I know, Chev, what do you got to say about Jaylen Waddle? And I know that you're kind of a guy that's been not an endorser of him through his career. So what are your thoughts now on a little bit of opportunity opening up for this guy?
Oh, it's such a kind way to put the way that I want to put that. I'm a Jaylen Waddle denier. Full on Jaylen Waddle denier. So much so that I haven't even spoken about how much I want to deny Jaylen Waddle. And I've been saying positive things about Jaylen. Now, okay. Here's the deal. All of you guys have tried to convince me that Jaylen Waddle is a real alpha wide receiver.
Not me.
Not you. I meant like all of our millions and millions of Dynasty Pulse fans. So again, I got hate for saying that Jaylen Waddle is just average. Like it's going to take, he's super fast, but it's always going to take an outlier, like 140 targets or an 18 yards per catch season for him to pay off at 8 touchdowns. He hasn't sniffed either one of those things in like 4 years. So at what point are we going to be like, yeah, man, he's just kind of a wide receiver too? But everybody's like, yeah, no, Jaylen Waddle, man. Yeah, top 15 wide receiver. Like he's he's the best of that bunch between T. Higgins, Devontae Adams, Devonta Smith, like all those guys. George Pickens, like I would take Jaylen Waddle over. And it's like, okay, cool, man. You don't like fantasy points, and you just like having your cake and not eating it because there's no cake to eat because he doesn't score enough fantasy points. But yeah, I mean, hey, I guess like, it's really cool that, the idea of Jaylen Waddle scoring fantasy points sometimes gives me a semi-chub, but then the actuality of him not scoring fantasy points makes me soft serve in a sauna.
Rack him up.
Rack him up.
Rack that call.
Yeah, and that's totally fair. All right, I think we've talked about Miami enough, and let's move on to Chev 11 here. Some Cam Ward growing pains. How long can dynasty managers wait? It's only been 4 games, but we're expecting everything out of this number 1 draft pick. His rookie campaign has been a harsh reality for Titans fans and for fantasy managers alike. Despite the high hopes that come with being the number 1 pick, Ward's performance through 4 games has been underwhelming, completing just 10 of 26 for 108 yards and no touchdowns last week in a blowout loss to the Texans. He's shown flashes of big playability, but he hasn't completed a pass over 20 yards. So, Chev, as a diehard Titans fan, this has to sting. Cam Ward's rookie season is not living up to the hype, and the offense looks stuck in neutral with the team already 0-4 from a dynasty perspective. How patient are you willing to be with Ward? At what point does his underwhelming start push you to consider trading him or downgrading him as QB1 status or QB2? And what are the broader struggles for the Titans? How much confidence do you have in this team and fantasy upside long term? Take a deep breath. Serenity now.
I'm waiting for my ears to stop ringing from my blood pressure skyrocketing before I begin this answer. And as I'm waiting for my blood pressure to come back down, I have zero confidence that this is going to turn around this year. I feel like this is what it was like for Trevor Lawrence. I made all those jokes about Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer, and now I'm stuck just full of dog crap, just dog poop, like the scene in Step Brothers where
they made me lick that white dog crap.
Yeah. You're gonna eat that, you're gonna lick that white dog poop. That's what I'm doing right now for what, 14 more weeks. It's just a belly full of white dog poop. That's what the Titans are right now. And I don't have very much confidence this is going to turn around because, again, like when Cam Ward does do the things that he was drafted number 1 overall to do, they drop the ball. I'm really struggling not to curse right now, so just bear with me. So not only do we not block for him, but also they don't catch the ball when he throws it and puts it when he throws freaking lasers. The only person that's been somewhat reliable, actually, I take that back. The only 2 guys that have been somewhat reliable on a down-in, down-out basis are Alec Ayamaner and Tony Pollard. Now, we get Tajay Spears back. From IR this week. I saw the practice clips. He's looking spry, okay? And that should add a boost to the offense. But again, they don't block. So, maybe it works. Maybe somebody just like Azeez Al-Shaair, the guy who wears.
Don't bring that name up on this podcast.
Yeah,
you're right. Maybe Houston Texans Voldemort linebacker. Maybe he just maybe he can cussify his Cam the next time they play, and we just shut it down and we go ahead and take Jordan Tyson number 1 overall in 2026. So I have zero confidence that this is going to get better, Michael. I'm not happy about it at all. Okay. It makes me feel not positive things. Okay. Watching football, watching my favorite team play football on Sunday makes me want to hurt neighborhood animals. Okay. That's where I'm at right now. Okay. All right. So it's not great.
What's
All
our hope for Calvin Ridley? Is he dumpster fire? Are we just
I
lighting it up and
told
just
you how bad everything is, and you have the nerve to bring up a schlub like Calvin Ridley in my presence? He's dead to me. Dead.
he's this
I don't
year's
want
Terry
any
McLaurin?
parts. I want no
Oh,
parts
I
of
know.
Calvin
Yeah.
Ridley.
Hey, pour some out.
We got.
No, he's not last year's Terry McLaurin. He's this year's because
Hey, yeah, that's right. Hey, that's right. Yeah,
So-
that's right. We were always right.
Yeah, we're never
Yeah.
wrong. Just right about being wrong. God, Calvin Ridley sucks.
Early or
man.
late.
Ask the next question, man. I'm
All right. We are done with the probing. I
Yeah.
know it has been tough. I've inserted.
Well, I
And
didn't hear
now
any
take-
of that, but I
Whoa!
do want to say I wish nothing but the worst for the Callahan family.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. I
All right.
understand the sins of the father.
Hey, Cam Ward still has 2 games against the vaunted Jags defense, too. Watch out.
Man, that's gonna be 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag.
It's a lot easier talking from the top of the mountain from the bottom. Hey there, Schultzy. I mean,
Hey, when I get my chances to talk Jags crap, I've had about 4 of them in 20 years, so I take them.
It's like
Take
leap
your-
year.
take your licks while you can. All right, let's get into one of our favorite segments of the show, and that's our stock up, stock down. And yeah, a lot has changed over a week, so let's dive right in. Schultzy, who's your stock up this week?
Hey, it's Justin Fields, man. And it's pretty crazy to me that there were people who were out on this guy going into this season. If you watched him play football with the Bears and for a brief moment with the Steelers last year, it's very evident. And I just brought this point up on the fantasy forecast when you talked about him. Do I want Justin Fields to play quarterback for my football team? The answer is a fat no. Do I want him on my fantasy team? And do I love watching him play football? Absolutely yes. So if you're trying to win games, this ain't your man. But if you're trying to score fantasy points, sign me up. And look, the 2 games he's started and completed, he has been electric. The volume on through the air is not there. It's just, I mean, they're not a team who's going to come out and throw the ball 30 plus times. It's just not going to happen. They want to run the ball. They want to pound Brees. They're going to put Braylon Allen in there. But all of that does is sets Justin Fields up for these explosive plays. And on top of that, he can pull a rabbit out of a hat like Lamar. We saw it this past week on that 4th down play against the Dolphins when they started running him right, and the Dolphins defense they knew it was coming, and he just reversed field on them and ran 45 yards for a touchdown. That is what we live for with Justin Fields. And we're watching it come back, man. So the stock is far up for Justin Fields because at one point the fantasy community was completely dead on him. You couldn't sell him for nothing. So we're flying high on Justin Fields.
Absolutely. He has games of 27 points and 29 points in PPR. Josh Allen is the QB1 right now with 98 total points across 4 games. So if Justin Fields had done 27, 29 points over the course of 4 games, he'd be QB1 right now. And there were some people this year who were saying Justin Fields is going to be a top 12 quarterback. Garrett Wilson is going to be a top 12 wide receiver. Breece Hall is going to be a top 12 running back, and Mason Taylor is going to make the top 10.
Hey,
Brees
man,
Hall's
Justin's
top
coming.
12.
Justin Fields.
Brees Hall, Garrett. Well, you got 3. I'm firmly with you on the 3 of the 4,
I agree.
but
Brees will
never
get there.
Mason Taylor.
It was a bold call, a bold
Yeah, of
prediction.
course. Yeah, I'm with you. I could get down with 3 of the 4. Hey, I'm meeting you 75% of the way there, man.
I
Don't
know,
poop-
and I appreciate it.
don't
That's
poop
great.
on me.
That's a good
I'll poop on you.
I'll poop on you. All right, coach, stock us up.
Hey, I'm actually going to take this one. It's going to be stock up and stock down because they're related. So they're divergent, but they're on the same team. So I'm just kind of going to roll with it. Stock up, it's Marvin Harrison Jr. Stock down, it's Kyler Murray. The sentiment and the vibes on Kyler Murray, everything is his fault, or it's Drew Petzing. And if it's Drew Petzing's fault, it's still Kyler Murray's fault. That's really the sentiment that's out there. And you never feel like you're getting the run out that you want from Kyler Murray. We talked about this all in the offseason, the amount of fantasy points per game seasons in the top 5, in the top 10 that he's had over the course of his career, where you're saying, hey, law of large numbers, back of the stat books, we're just going to get that regress for Kyler. And the beauty is, we saw on the Thursday Night Football last week, the weight lifted off Marvin Harrison Jr. The stock up is for Marvin Harrison Jr. 2 games now with 18 points, finishes of receiver 12, so a wide receiver 1 overall, and receiver 14, high end 2. I think that pressure is off Marvin Harrison Jr., and it's huge. It's a huge weight, and that is just going to help him so much as he continues to build confidence. And everything isn't a run out of Malik Nabers, BTJ, Lad McConkey of last year's rookie season. There's some buildup for some receivers. And in this case, you see what's happening with Marvin Harrison Jr. Look at what's happened with Quinton Johnston. He's having just a tremendous run out. It took some time. And for Marvin Harrison Jr., it's not even the Quinton Johnston path. It's year 2. So I think you just have to have some faith. If you recall your scouting reports and how you felt during Devy time into the draft process for Marvin Harrison Jr., you're clinging to that. Stock is up for him. And ironically enough, the stock is down for somebody like Kyler Murray. Looking at quarterbacks who are around him, like who would you rather have? Caleb Williams absolutely catapulted way past him. I think you still run the risk with Bo Nix. Brock Purdy, if he can get healthy, we'll monitor that. The vibes are back and good with Michael Penix Jr. Cam Ward, neck and neck at least. I think Cam Ward is below him, but there's still some positivity because it's more of a Titans setup, not a Cam Ward issue. Baker Mayfield, I don't see how you can have Kyler Murray up above Baker Mayfield right now. Justin Fields, to what you were just talking about, Schultzy. Why not put Fields up there? If I had to, eyes closed, who's going to have a top 5 week right now? Justin Fields or Kyler Murray, regardless of opponent. I'm going with Justin Fields. So, and Jared Goff, he is on a heater. So there's a whole lot going on. Dak Prescott, we can just keep continually naming names. Jackson Dart looked really good in his first start. He has another excellent start against the Saints. We may get reckless with this. So I am stock up on Marvin Harrison Jr. and ironically stock down on Kyler Murray. Doesn't mean that Kyler Murray can't hit his marks and metrics for the fantasy run out that you want, but just sentiment-wise, market-wise, he's lower. And if you want to acquire Kyler Murray, the price has gone down. If you want to get out, well, the price that you're going to sell for has gone down, and you need to accept that or hold.
Love it. Love the breakdowns on both those guys. I like you made them a tandem, and yeah, it makes sense the way you broke them both down. So thanks for sharing that information. Now, Biggs, let's get into your stock up, man.
So I have a bunch. I didn't get a chance to come on the show last week and stock up Jackson Dart, but he is absolutely in my stock. I just dropped Kyler Murray for him in redraft. And I was going to talk about Garrett Wilson because he's wide receiver 5 right now. There were a ton of naysayers going into the drafts, and I was picking him up everywhere that I possibly could. He's number 3 in targets, in total targets, and he's 5th in scoring. He doesn't have quite the yards per reception of some of the guys ahead of him that are in the 15 range. But actually, I'm going to change tack, and I'm going to go with George Pickens as my stock up. Now, George Pickens is a guy that I've been talking about since his rookie season, trying to pump him up. He was on a team with Deontay Johnson, who was just basically the target thief. There were some problems in Pittsburgh in the passing game. Those got rectified a little bit last year with Russell Wilson. It was a little bit better situation than the Kenny Pickett year. But you could tell from the talent level, George Pickens is coming, you guys. And now he has his opportunity. He's in a very prolific offense that throws the ball a ton. He's got a great quarterback in Dak Prescott who's going to get him the ball. And CeeDee Lamb just went down with an injury. So George Pickens is going to be the primary focus in the receiving game in that offense. Everybody was calling them the Bengals of the NFC. We saw a 40-40 tie last week. It's going to be a lot more productive offense, and George Pickens is right there. He's currently wide receiver 6. We've been waiting for him to break into that top 24. He's now in the top 10, and he's only going to show everything that he can do. He's right there and will probably finish as a top 12 wide receiver when all is said and done in 2025.
There you have it. And Chev is rejuvenized after the Titans talk, and we're excited for him and his George Pickens shares too. We got a lot on this show. We know that. All right. Stock up.
You almost made me enter into a very special and sacred Japanese forest, making me talk about the Titans like that.
Oh, wow. Oh.
All right,
Yeah.
stock up us there, Chev.
Oh, well, put the bricked up thing back on there. Now, I'm not here to victory lap, okay? But listen. All right. I've taken my time and been very calm and collected. But I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down about Brashard Smith. Now, I have screamed from the mountaintops for you guys to go add Brashard Smith in Dynasty. There's certain teams and certain roles that he fits into perfectly. Then we get the run out exactly the way that we want it. It's like, hey, he didn't get the draft capital, but he got the landing spot. And then we start seeing just little breadcrumbs along the way. Like, hey, Brashard Smith's working at receiver with the first team. Hey, Brashard Smith working with the first team as a receiver in the red zone. And now we get Brashard Smith coming off a career high 7 touches. I don't know what are you. It's getting closer and closer, and it's not. There we go. Nope. Now we're out. Yep. There we go. So, and then we got the breaking news that Matt Nagy wants to involve Brashard Smith even more. And then you got Big Red, all right, the Kansas City polar bear coming out and saying, hey, man, Matt Nags, they're cool like that. They give each other little pet names and stuff.
He's a walrus.
Nags wants to get Smith a little more involved. So he's calling him Smith. He's doing all that, doing things like he's real familiar with him. So, like, yeah, Brashard Smith. There's a role, there's an opportunity. We've seen it happen. Look, I mean, the best predictor of future success is past success, and they've had a guy in that role already. So Brashard Smith is going to be. I'm going to say this. I haven't thrown any bold predictions out there, but I think he's going to be a top 24 running back the rest of the season. The minute that he starts getting double-digit touches per game.
Yes. Good.
Yep. I was tailing you in our waiver wire pickup show that we recorded on Monday and looking at his usage rate. And so on our fantasy forecast waiver wire pickup show, he was my priority running back ad for the week. And so, thank you, Chev.
Brother, we've all like, so we've been on the show, right? And like I started saying it, and you guys were kind of looking at me like, oh, I don't know, maybe. And then like you guys saw the stuff, like saw the film, and you were like, yeah, I think it could work.
And the landing spot, I love the landing spot and the Jerick McKinnon role. That was beautiful.
And we've all been telling everybody for the last like 7 months to go get Brashard Smith. Like, this is gonna be a thing, and now that it's happening, it's pretty cool.
Yep.
Mike, who is your stock up? Because
now back to Mike. It's not Michael anymore.
Yeah, I was really
speaking terms again.
I was real upset when I called him Michael, just so you guys know.
So now I'm going to get him bricked up in the cement aisle because I'm talking about my stock up, and he's skyrocketing up dynasty rankings, and it's why you should be buying into Quinshon Judkins.
I was going to say it's not Mac Jones.
No,
he
had a murky legal situation. He had a slower than expected start to his NFL career, but it had fantasy managers pressing the panic button at 5, and he's rapidly flipping that narrative. Not only those off-season allegations were dropped, he now holds the keys to the Browns backfield, and he's wasting no time making it his. 3 games, he's become one of the most productive running backs in football. Not just flashes, real stable weekly volume. 21 carries in week 4, career high usage, showing true bell cow role. 115 yards versus Detroit, a top defense, and Judkins just carved them up. 5th in the NFL in rushing per game, 79, despite missing week 1, caught 4 targets in week 4, showing 3 down upside in PPR, and is the RB14 in PPR points per game since week 2. He's climbing fast, and he's also climbing the dynasty stock market up fast here too. The hype is back, and it's time. It's justified, and he's firmly now in my top 12 dynasty rankings. So Quinshon Judkins, stock up. We got some. Yeah.
You smell that? You smell that? It smells like power tools. Yeah.
All right. Let's get through our stock downs. Schultzy, you are up.
All right. For me, it's Jake Browning. And, this one speaks for itself. This guy has stunk all the eggs the last couple of weeks. I think he's had, maybe like 11 fantasy points combined in the past 2 games. Okay, sorry. It was like 13 and a half. I was mistaken. But he hasn't even thrown for 300 yards in these 2 games. It's been abysmal. He came in that game against Jacksonville after Joe Burrow got hurt, and it was the classic backup quarterback comes in like we weren't game planning for this guy. He did some damage, but he also threw 3 picks, and they were all pretty bad. So he comes out. I know he goes against Minnesota, goes against Denver. It's been tough, right? Like those are 2 really good defenses, but it's been just absolutely god awful for this Bengals offense, and I just don't have a ton of hopes for them turning it around in the immediate future without Joe Burrow. So we got Detroit coming up. They're going to Green Bay after that. 2 more tough teams right off the bat. I looked at Dynasty Daddy because I was like, man, after the Jacksonville game, people were going out. They were blowing their fab on this guy. They were making trades for this guy like Jake Bryan, because we saw it happen a couple years ago. He put up some solid numbers, so people went crazy. And I have seen someone sent a 26 first for Jake Browning. I have seen like 7-8 trades for a 2nd-round pick for Jake Browning. I've seen a bunch of thirds. I've seen a 2nd and a 3rd. Someone sent a 2, 3, and a 4. It was out of control. I set the dates to that Sunday that he played against Jacksonville, and then do a couple days out from there. And people were paying like crazy for this guy. And if you did, I'm sorry. The stock is down. You aren't getting anything back on this, and you're going to be lucky if you even get a couple decent performances.
Man, it's Bernie Madoff, man.
All right, Biggs, what do you got? Stock down us.
Well, I wanted to talk about Adrian Martinez I'm kidding. I don't think anybody's ready for Adrian Martinez. My stock down is this isn't good, you guys. So there's a quarterback out there close to my heart. Name is Geno Smith, quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. Geno Smith suffered a loss last week in the form of Colton Miller with his high ankle sprain and fracture, and he's out for the season. He's a Pro Bowl left tackle for the Las Vegas Raiders, one of the best in pass protection in all of the NFL, and he is no longer with the Raiders starting core. So we have a couple of draft picks in Raider Nation, Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant, a couple of monsters, beasts. We definitely could give them a shot at left tackle, but instead Pete Carroll being Pete Carroll, went out and he got himself a Stone Forsyth. I've never heard of Stone Forsyth, and there's a reason why. When I looked it up on PFF, he was the 124th ranked tackle out of 140 tackles last season in 2024. That's the replacement the Raiders go with? You already have a Geno Smith who's leading the NFL in interceptions. And granted, they're going to be behind in most of the game, so he's going to have to throw the ball a lot, and he's got some pretty good targets out there. But he's going to be under fire the entire year. This line will not be able to block in front of him without Colton Miller. Geno Smith is dying a slow death, and I don't want any part of it. Geno Smith is stock down.
That was good, man.
That was
That's
incredible. I don't even know how to follow that up.
We'll follow it up, Chev.
In the arms of an angel. So my stock down makes me really like extra sad. Almost not as sad as that one thing from the show earlier that we don't need to talk about ever again, but sad. Like I know that he's good at football, but it's just a too many mouths, not enough spoons situation for Josh Downs. And it appears that Alec Pierce is the second most important piece in this offense now, behind Michael Pittman in the passing game, or third most, I guess, behind Tyler Warren, who appears to be everything that we thought he was. Suck it, Colston Loveland truthers. And Michael Pittman, who his bacchiotomy went better than anybody could have ever imagined. So Josh Downs has not really been a focal point or just really a part of the Colts offense. I think he has one game where he had 6 catches for 51 yards in week 2, I believe it was. And so, yeah, man, he's a firm buy if you can get him for a third or 2/3 or, whatever. But him and A.D. Mitchell are the two guys that I'm buying. A.D. Mitchell, this is just free. The Chev GPT keys to generational wealth. Go buy A.D. Mitchell right now.
I can't quit him.
Yeah, that's a 2026 and a 2027 play. Go buy A.D. Mitchell right now. But while you're doing that, mourn with me about Josh Downs and how he just doesn't score fantasy points anymore. Grindberg, the floor is yours.
I'm fighting these buttons all of a sudden, and it's revolutionary.
It really is. It's great.
Yeah, I was like, wow, what is this? That was a boo, and my boo is for
That was a boo.
that was a boo for Malik Nabers, and he's my stock down. We talked about him in depth earlier in the show, and dynasty managers, if you're in a position where your team is 1-3 or 0-4, I'd be looking at the Malik Nabers manager, and I'd be sending out offers to get him on the cheap here, because stock down, meaning there could be an opportunity to buy, and especially in dynasty, if your team's out of it, maybe wait a week or two. But Malik Nabers is shelved, and unfortunately for dynasty managers that had him, that were hoping for a big season from him, we're scrambling, and we're looking for other ways. So potentially, you can get one of those managers that are scrambling to replace that Malik Nabers production, and you could get a downgrade and an upgrade on your position. So yeah, Malik Nabers is done, and so is this show, folks. What a great roundup to week 5, weekend warm up. Great dialogue, some emotions from all of us. I think we all had some emotions today, and hopefully week 5 comes with less injuries.
Is eternal despair considered an emotion?
Last case of emotion for Chev tonight.
Oh, I love it. All right, bigz, bring us home, buddy.
Hey, we got a ton of good merch in the merch store, including a Dynasty Pulse t-shirt, fantasy forecast stuff, great team-related gear. Lots of stuff coming at you from the Fantasy Sports Advice Network. Go to fantasysportsadvice.com, get all that stuff. Hey, go to Facebook, find Chris's Smoked Pickles, and send him a Facebook message on Messenger and tell him bigz sent you. and he'll give you a pretty good deal on some of the best stuff you'll ever have. I feel reticent to play my pickle commercial that I recorded on our shows here, but I'm doing it on my other shows. Is
that the one that's like 27 different things you can do with a pickle with no hands?
No, but now I have a new idea for ad copy.
28.
28. So yeah, like, subscribe, follow, hit the bell. Find us on Fantasy Sports Advice Network, fantasysportsadvice.com. Do all of the call to action stuff, and we'll see you next week. We hope you win.
Puka.
Adrian Martinez.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.